and we see a lot of anger.
Well, what anger, Mariba? What anger? What anger, Mariba? What anger?
He doesn't get it.
This is impossible.
How embarrassing. Total disrespect. Can't deal with this anymore. Maybe you should go to Albania for a little bit.
Me and you, yeah, no better idea.
Or maybe you go for a little bit, I don't know.
What the is that?
Like, does this ring mean anything to you?
Stace.
Let's be honest, the last resort wasn't really much help for any of the couples, but especially not for Florian and Stacy. Stacy went to the resort hoping that it would help her marriage, but as for Florian, he doesn't even believe in therapy. And now, is it really a surprise that they're right back where they started? Their marriage is back, spiralling down the drain. And when we join them today in this final tell-all, it's time to invite the therapists on stage to say it how they see it. Now, immediately, Florian has a bit of an issue with Reba.
Look the product. You ruined her marriage.
Now, we'll cover this in a bit more detail in tomorrow's video, where I look at the Gino, Jasmine, Matt drama from this tell-all. But suffice to say, even before the therapists have their say on his marriage, Florian is already having a run-in with them. But that only gets worse when they start talking about his relationship.
I think that they fall into a parent-child role a lot, and
what again is
we
that?
definitely thought
Explain
that
to me, miss.
she. 1 second,
Quiet.
please.
Oh boy, Florian didn't like that one little bit. But isn't it ironic that the therapist's point is literally being proved by the fact that Stacy has to shush him? Shush him as if he's a little kid. But even then, Florian refuses to see what's right in front of him.
Why you see like Stacy? Like for what Stacy teach me like a sign of what the hell you saying?
You know, here, let me step.
No. Stay far away, please. No, stay far away.
Uh-oh, you know that Florian's amping up for a fight when his nose start coming in threes. No. Like, everyone can see what's about to happen, right? The whole cast know where this is going. They've all seen Florian's anger erupt in the past. And in fact, Ari calmly asks Florian to have some respect for the trained professionals. But Florian's response to that?
Have some respect for them.
Ari, go sleep, please. 1 second, ma'am. Yes, Ella, you say that
Can someone stop him, please?
1 second.
Because
Go
this is
sleep, my Ari.
ridiculous.
Go sleep.
Go sleep, Ari. I mean, it's hardly the best comeback of all time, is it? But isn't it interesting that the girls do seem to be trying to stop Florian from blowing up at the therapists? But as for the men, yeah, not so much. They're sitting back and just letting it happen. Not a single one of them tells Florian to calm down, cool off. And perhaps encouraged by this, Florian finally says what he feels he needs to say.
I treat Stacy, my kid, is opposite direction, man.
Can I give a description?
Speak.
Florian, it's used to describe kind of just a general dynamic.
Look, I get in a way what Florian's trying to say. When Stacy has her crying fits, when she gets emotional, it is Florian who takes on the parental role. But isn't that exactly what the therapist was trying to explain? What she was saying was a description about both of them. Both of them fall into the role of parent or child at differing times. I think Florian has got the wrong end of the stick here. He's just wrongly assumed that they were calling him a child. But instead of admitting that he misunderstood, Florian doubles down.
Teach her to explain things. Teach her.
I think she does an amazing job, but listen.
A sadistic narcissist.
Florian, show respect, please.
Yes, I'm going to talk.
Enough.
Surely now is when he should be like, hey, maybe I'm in the wrong here since every single person in this room doesn't agree with me. But no, Florian can't comprehend the idea that he's done anything wrong. And Stacy, quite frankly, is f***ing over it.
He doesn't get it.
Wow.
How embarrassing. Total disrespect. Can't deal with this anymore.
Look, here's the truth, right? We all saw, everyone saw, that Florian's rage was a reoccurring problem at the retreat. Now, the question then becomes, if Florian's acting like that whilst being filmed, whilst on camera in public, what's he like? How does he speak to Stacy in the privacy of their own home? Like, this whole situation is just way too much for Stacy. So she gets up and walks off stage.
He's so thick-headed.
Is it something specifically?
It's just he's thick-headed in the way he's talking to people. It's totally disrespectful. He talks about wanting respect. Well, he needs to give respect.
Stacy Stacey definitely isn't perfect, right? But at least she's willing to acknowledge that she needs to change. She's actively looking for help to change. But Florian, on the other hand, well, he thinks he's perfect. He can never do any wrong. And when the professionals gently try to explain it to him, he loses his shit all over again.
We see a lot of anger.
Well, what
coming
anger,
out of
Mariba? What
Florian.
anger? What anger, Malaliba? What anger? Look at what you Lizzo.
Right here.
What anger?
Right here.
I'm speaking the truth.
I'm not gonna tolerate
I'm speaking the
this.
truth.
Please, Florian, please, just chill out. He's totally riled himself up, right? But the truth is, Florian's so allergic to hearing a single bad thing be said about himself that now he feels like he can no longer sit on this couch. He also gets up and storms off in a bid to try and find Stacy. Like, it's only now that he decides that maybe he should check to see if his wife is alright or not. But as he's leaving, he can't resist the temptation for one final dig.
Yeah,
Put some energy into your marriage.
I'm a child.
Care about your wife. Disgusting.
Disrespectful and rude.
I mean, this is what happens when we see people getting triggered.
Yeah.
So what exactly was it that triggered him so badly? Being told he's angry? Being called a child? Like, regardless, whatever it was, this is the exact behaviour that Stacey was hoping Florian would unlearn during this retreat. Only clearly he hasn't. Because he didn't take therapy seriously, they're now back at square one. They're now back to fighting over the same old stuff.
They're trained therapists. They're educated. Like, they're trying to help us.
Look, Floyd, you're
But you're
jumping
very
away.
aggressive and you're very scary the way you
Me
talk.
scary?
Yeah.
scared
Stop,
for nothing
stop
about
it,
it.
monster.
Does Florian seriously not realise how he comes across? Just look at Reba's face after he yelled at her. This is a trained therapist that he's now made to look extremely uncomfortable, very unsettled. It's not okay. Florian can't just float through life unaware of his tone. Like, he can't keep going around thinking that it's always someone else that's starting with him.
Telling me I have anger issues. Never telling me in last resort. Never.
Anger issues? Huh? Do you have anger issues?
No, I don't have. I'm sorry, God. No anger, no nothing. Stop pissing me off. Leave me alone.
Oh, Florian. The truth is, you just can't change someone who doesn't want to change. Florian has well and truly buried his head in the sand, right? He doesn't even realise he needs to change. That despite the fact that half the cast, his wife and literally 3 professionals are telling him that he needs to. Now, eventually, Stacey returns to the set, and once again, it's left to her to have to apologise for her husband's behaviour.
I'm so sorry, you guys.
Stacey, stop doing that if you can, because it's not yours to clean up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where do I go from here? I don't know what to do. And
You should go to
Yeah.
therapy.
Stacey needs to take a long, hard look in the mirror. She needs to realise that she's also enabling this behaviour. How so? Well, I mean, the result was a disaster for them. They didn't really figure out a single issue, and yet she's still recommitted to him. Like, she can't just keep choosing to be with him and then complaining about his behaviour. They need to find real ways to fix their problems, right? And after the tell-all wraps up, it's Binny, of all people, who pitches a solution to their problems.
I don't believe that's a therapy. I believe that's more as a priest. Like, that's in my culture. That's it's
Talk to a
work for me.
priest.
Oh, you have better idea than these people.
That actually may not be a bad idea. I mean, both of these guys do have similarities on that front. They were both raised in cultures where therapy or mental health issues aren't openly spoken about. They're not considered a manly thing to do, right? And that's the truth. Like, it may be an old-fashioned way of thinking, but that is the norm in many countries around the world. So forcing someone like that into therapy may not be the right answer. They actually might be more comfortable and see better results sharing with a priest. But the problem is, this solution may have come a little too late.
maybe you should go to Albania for a little bit.
Me and you, yeah, no better idea.
Or maybe you go for a little bit. I don't know.
What the is that?
Like, does this ring mean anything to you?
Stace.
Stacey tells Florian that she's not going to put up with his shit anymore. She's now contemplating doing her own thing for a little while. Now, the therapist did suggest to her to go to therapy on her own, so maybe she just needs some time away from her marriage to focus on herself, to figure out what she wants. Either way, whatever the case, her and Florian's relationship, their marriage is in shambles. But the question is, does Florian actually realise this?
I don't really know what our future holds.
Me and Stacy have the best relationship, and that is clear. We're living here the most happy.
Sorry? Did Florian not absorb a single thing that happened today at all? What exactly about the way that Stacy stormed off, told him he had to change, suggested that he goes to Albania by himself and tossed her ring at him, made him feel like they're in a good spot? But, of course, Florian, in classic Florian fashion, just refuses to ever admit that something's wrong. And mark my words, that is gonna come back to bite him in the arse one day.